yeah, pretty much that. And another thing is, like I said, since we're in the topic, or right now is a heavy topic in who the 10 tribes are. And yes, as you've seen from my last video, that yes, I believe all Israel is Negro. And, regardless of how someone looks, you still got to admit that the Jews are all Negro. The Israelites are Negro. And I don't believe that the Mongoloid Indians and $5 Indians and, Hispanics of those descendancies are Israelites. Now some could be looking like that through, like I said, through mixture. But for Israel and the chart and all of this stuff about, everybody putting the face of the 10 tribes as modern day, like I say modern days, that's false and that's error. That's an error. Okay, so but also I wanted to show in this this lesson is also I wanted to show the people of Thanksgiving, the tribes involved, because another misconception when we talk about Thanksgiving, everybody's thinking, even though as a whole, which I showed who the people that the Spaniards and Portuguese met, people of Indians of color. But if we're talking about the Thanksgiving of the Pilgrims in the New England, you got to deal with the tribes that were involved. It wasn't all tribes in the America that dealt with the so-called Thanksgiving. And on top of that, I'm going to show who they were, because again, that's another misconception that they were some Mongoloid Indians, and that's incorrect. Okay, so all things will be proven in this lesson. Okay, so I'm gonna show slavery. I'm gonna show again who they were, how they were. Even like I keep telling y'all that Indians was classified as Negroes. Okay, I'm gonna bring all of that out. Show the show what they said about them. Okay, and the how they had to some of these tribes had to be classified as Negro, colored, so on and so forth. All right, so y'all just strap in, taking notes, and let's get it popping. All right, so we gonna get some scriptures real quick. So this is Colossians 2:8, and it says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach." Okay, so all of these holidays in America, they all tradition of men. Christmas, all of that. Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, so on and so forth. All of these is tradition of men. Not one of those that I mentioned are in Leviticus 23 to celebrate. Okay, so even on that aspect, a lot of our people, they claim to be Christian and all of that, and then Thanksgiving, you just even Christmas, you just talking about what you thankful for and things like that. But again, you don't pay attention to keep the Purim, and other days that we have. That we do get together. You know what I'm saying? You guys aren't quick to do the commandments of the Lord, but you quick to do the commandments of the so-called white man, Esau. Okay, so a lot of stuff has to change. All right, so the tradition of men is this holiday, that's Thanksgiving, that is disrespectful to our ancestors. Okay, because like I'm saying, we thinking that we only came over here on ships. Now a lot of us aren't Narragansett or Wampanoag, which those are certain of the tribes, Pequot, but we still, the tribes obviously being Israelites, and all these tribes being Israel and connected, because Northern Kingdom, we be back to one stick, as the scriptures say, is still our ancestors. Okay, even if you're a Judite and your Issachar got and I'm not talking about the modern days, but Issachar, something happened, you still gonna protect your brother. You gonna protect your nation. You know what I'm saying? So This is showing the truth of the matter. All right, so let me show y'all. So if a lot of y'all are unfamiliar with these tribes, just wanted to go into a little bit about them. All right. Just wanted to go into a little bit about them. So it says, so the Wampanoag, which is one of the tribes in the Thanksgiving, it says the Wampanoag also rendered Wampanoag are an American Indian tribe. They were a loose confederation of several tribes in the 17th century, but today Wampanoag people encompass 5 official recognized tribes: the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe and the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhead in Massachusetts. All right. So just and obviously it says they in Massachusetts, also Rhode Island. The New England area. All right. It says colonists in the Massachusetts Bay Area first encountered the Wampanoag, Massachusetts, Nipmuc, Pinnacook, Penobscot, Passamaquoddy, and Quinnipiac, the Mohegan, Pequot, Pocumtuck, Toonie, and Narragansett were based in southern. Okay, so just kind of like giving y'all an overview of the tribes in that area. Okay, so this is another kind of showing you. It's not even allowing me to. There we go. Okay, so as you can see on the map where a lot of the tribes was stationed. So yeah, like I brought out in my last video, which I'll bring it out again, about the New Englanders, or that's who your pilgrims would be. What they said about these natives, okay, in regards to how they look, okay. So that's who they met. So the Wampanoag, Narragansett, Pequot, okay. So all right, so this is what I found also, Wampanoag Indians. Okay, so as we're going to talk about King Philip as well, but it says, many Indians sent to Deer Island, and some were sold as slaves in the West Indies. Okay, listen to this. It says, many placed on reservations called plantations. So, the plantations are the reservations. Like, again, a lot of people thinking that living in the hood, in the ghettos, and the slums ain't a plantation, or ain't a reservation. Okay, and it's a lot deeper that why the so-called Negro is not in the quote unquote reservation. All right. But as you can see, it says many placed on reservation called plantation. All right, so, and during the King Philip War, you had some of the Pequot, they aligned themselves or allied themselves with the colonists at the time, which we'll get into that a little later. So like I said, you had the Wampanoag, the Narragansett. These are the main two I'm a touch into. But those are the main ones involved in the Thanksgiving, as well as the Pequot. All right, so that's just an overview, just a little bit of these, and then let me see what I got. Got to close everything so I don't mistake where I was at. So this is just a little bit about King Philip now. Trying to see the part that because the other website is the one, but I was thinking about using this one. I just wanted to. Okay, I'll read the other one, but this part right here where it says this war became one of the confrontations uh, in colonial history, it is believed that more than half of the 90 settlements in the region had been attacked and a dozen destroyed, while Indian villages were massacred and tribes decimated. When it was over, members of the Wampanoag, Nipmuc, and Narragansett tribes were gathered and sold into slavery. Those who escaped fled from tribe to tribe as each in turn was destroyed. Alright, so yeah, so yeah, that's what I wanted to show. So yeah, you had all three of those tribes and the Pequot as well that were shipped into slavery. So all of those tribes were shipped into slavery. All right, so I'll read it from this one. It says, "Do American Indians celebrate Thanksgiving?" So I wanted to go a little bit into King Philip and a little bit more. Like basically, it's talking about kind of like what we read earlier. Um, what we read earlier in regards to what is being taught in the school systems. But so I'll just start right here. It says, "Let's begin with Squanto, a Patuxent, one of more than 50 tribes who formed the Wampanoag Confederacy. Around 1614, when he was perhaps 30, Squanto was kidnapped along with others of his people and taken across the Atlantic Ocean to Malaga, Spain." Okay, so during the 1600s, he was taken to Malaga, Spain. So another cut for, well, as I showed in the other, for anybody that wouldn't even recognize that we were shipped to, we were shipped, to the other side of the earth, okay, or to Spain, okay, but it says, where they were sold into slavery. Monks in Spain brought Squanto, shared their faith with him, and made it possible for him to find his way to England in 1615. In England, he worked for a shipbuilder, John Stanley, and became proficient in English. In 1619, Squanto returned to his homeland by joining an exploring expedition along the New England coast. When he arrived at the village where he has been raised, all his family and the rest of his tribe had been exterminated by a devastating plague. Okay, so yeah, when he came back, that's what he found. What about the Pilgrims, separatists who fled from England to Holland seeking to escape religious persecution by English authorities, and who later booked passage to North America, are now called Pilgrims, though Americans did not widely use the term until the 1870s. In November 1620, the Mayflower dropped anchor in present-day Provincetown Harbor. After exploring the coast for a few weeks, the Pilgrims landed and began building a permanent settlement on the ruins of Squanto Patuxent village, now renamed New Plymouth. Within the first year, half of the 102 pilgrims who set out from Europe on the Mayflower had perished. In desperation, the pilgrims initially survived by eating corn from abandoned fields, raiding villages for stored food and seed, and robbing graves at corn hills. So, yeah, the so-called white man didn't know what to do. Okay, so he didn't, he basically, you could say he went on his cave-like, I guess, ways. You know what I'm saying? All right, so, yeah, pretty much like y'all can, like I said, I already named. So if y'all want to read it on your own, I just wanted to read a little bit about King Philip, but showing you that he went into slavery to Spain. All right, and yeah, read this. Squanto died in 1622, but Massasoit outlived the era of relative peace in colonial New England. On May 26, 1637, near the present-day Mesquite River in Connecticut, while the warriors were away, an estimated 400 to 700 Pequot women, children, and old men. So yeah, I mean, like we just read, and then like I said, the scriptures they won't show favor a nation with fierce countenance. Okay, were massacred and burned by combined forces of the Plymouth, Massachusetts Bay, and Saybrook colonies and Narragansett and Mohegan allies. Colonial authorities found justification to kill most of the Pequot men and enslave the captured women and their children. Pequot slave. So it says Pequot slaves were sent to Bermuda and the West Indies. Okay, so Pequot slaves were sent to Bermuda and the West Indies. So again, I mean, for all y'all, yeah, that talk all of this stuff about Negro only and Negro, yeah, all these places that Indians were shipped. When you look at these places, it's nothing but black people. Okay, so so-called black people. All right, and then no, the Indians wasn't killed off to where to an extinction where it's just no one there, and then they just bring a whole bunch of people from Africa. That's not true. Okay, so again, a lot of people that was basically just sent into slavery, or prisoners of war. All right, so it says in 1975, the official number of Pequot people living in Connecticut was 21. Similar declines in native populations took place throughout New England, as an estimated 300,000 Indians died by violence. Even more were displaced in New England over a few decades. Okay, so yeah, so that was a point. Just another point of. Okay, so we can get into now the slavery aspect. Okay, so we can get into the slavery aspect of these tribes, and then I'm gonna close it out with, how they was classified as Negro, and just show y'all some images. All right, so bear with me. All right, so this is Wampanoag in Bermuda. Okay, so we know that Bermuda is in the Caribbean. Okay, so and it was a sovereign state of British. Okay, the British oversee territory. All right, so how most of the people there black. Cause so, I mean, you know what I'm saying. So again, everyone's gonna say that all these people, the norm, like I said, is gonna be that all these people were Africans. Okay, but that's not true. Okay, but it says beginning around 1616, Wampanoag, Pequot, Narragansett, Cherokees, Mohegans, Carib, Arawaks, and Indians from Central and South America were sold in Bermuda. Okay, and I didn't show, but I have a source how again with even with the Mayans were shipped to Jamaica as well. So you had a lot of shipping of indigenous people to the islands. Okay, so it says in 2009, Tall Hawk, which that's him right here, but matter of fact, I have another, or the guy right here. This is Tall Hawk. Okay. Okay. This is him. Which this is one of the images I was gonna show, but this is Tall Hawk. and this is St. Clair or Brinky Tucker, okay, which is Wampanoag and Bermuda. This is what I'm reading right now. But it says, and a delegation of Wampanoag Indians and Massatucket Pequots went in search of their people from the slavery era. They traveled to St. David's Island in Bermuda. There they met a small clan claiming to be descended from New England Indian slaves shipped to the island centuries ago. Wyndham's group was convinced it was true when they saw the faces, dances, and ceremonies of the St. David's Indians. I was struck by how much they looked like us, said Michael J. Thomas, a Massatucket tribal leader. Okay, matter of fact, since we're there, let me show you who that was. Okay, bam. So this is Michael J. Thomas. Okay, former, as you see right here, it says former chairman of the Massatucket Pequot tribal nation in Connecticut. Okay, so what would he be classified? That's not even play games. What would he be classified into today's society? Okay, especially he got his hair cut. He, you know what I'm saying, he don't have like his long his hair grown out, but as his hair is cut, what would he be classified? You know what I'm saying? You see him on the street, okay, he would be classified as a Negro, or you might would even say he would be a so-called African American unless he specified he was from a place in the islands. Okay, so that's who. So him and right here, Tall Oak went to look for Indians from the slave that were sold into slavery, and they went to Bermuda. Okay, so it says, according to local legend, the wife and son of King Philip might have been among those on St. David's. After the king's death, his wife, Wanatup Nusuk, is said to have married an African. This kept alive the genealogical line with the Indians in New England. Okay, and like I showed in my last video, how even on the plantation you had Indians and so-called Africans, which all of them were Israel. Okay, Southern Northern Kingdom, but the slave master couldn't tell the difference. Okay, so it wasn't like it was African. Again, the wrong narrative that Africans were slept with Mongoloid Indians, and as if the Mongoloid Indians is the standard of what a Indian is. Okay, so a Mongoloid Indian. Matter of fact, let me just. So y'all, I can make it plain. All right. Matter of fact, look, what is this right here? I didn't even look at that. See, look at this brother right here. Look at this. Okay. Like I was just see, like, the Asian features, but yeah, this is the real Indian right here. All right, but I can't. I got sidetracked, but I wanted to look at that. So yeah, because so like people thinking these right here is the real Indian, knowing damn well that's a lot of Eurasian, Asian, Mongol, so on and so forth. Which again, we were here first. The Mongoloids came. We did some mixing with them, warring with them. Then the so-called white man came. We mixed with him, okay, and warred with them, okay. And that's kind of like why when I'm gonna show some of these people. That's why, some are mixed. But again, you can see the mulatto. You can see the Negro still with them. Like, you can't see no Negro in her right here. You can't see. That's my point. Like, no matter how somebody look, again, if they go back to Negroes, because a lot of that's a broad term, Negro or Indian descent. It ain't talking about the guy that I just showed, and then someone like this, okay, or like this. No, okay. So especially like I said, someone like this that's clear of Asian descent. Okay, it's been proven. It's been proven. Okay, the main scholars, uh, um, all the geneticists, all of them have said that the skulls and all of that, the first skulls was of a Negroid, so-called African descent. You know what I'm saying? More matching them than modern Native Americans. Okay, so yeah, again, so is Negro and Indian descent? Is us and this guy right here? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So it was nothing but black Indians and black so-called Africans mating. So it's all black people. Okay, so that to make it plain, and even on top of that, I'll say that it wasn't like, because a lot of people think with even amongst mixtures, okay, like people think that just everybody is mixed, or everybody was dealing with somebody else, or mixing with everybody else, as if they people wasn't still staying with their own, or so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody was slept with a so-called African, which, like I said, is the same people, and really a lot of so-called Africans were able to be amongst native tribes because obviously they were the same people, they knew them, so on and so forth. Okay, so but like I said, these people were already dark-skinned black prior to a so-called African or the Southern Kingdom coming in, which I don't believe it's just Southern Kingdom can, because like I said, you had Indians going that way, coming back. Yeah, it's just all mixed up. But we know, according to Isaiah 11, Judah scattered, but all the tribes were scattered. Okay, because it tells you, Jeremiah, that the seed of Israel that was scattered in the north countries and all the other countries where they were scattered, they'll be brought back. All right, so Salakia. But it says the Pequot plan to dig even further into slavery's hidden history, Thomas said. So, again, this is what he's saying. So they're going to dig deeper into the slave history. All right, so let me go down. So it says indigenous arts, homecoming for the Indians of Bermuda. Home is where the art is. All right, so I wanted to just go through this a little bit. It says, what does it mean to retain cultural traditions for 350 years in a land far from one's original homeland? How does it feel to reconnect with people from whom your ancestors was captured and sold into slavery? How does it feel to return to a country and people you only know through generation of family oral histories? For Indians on Bermuda's South David Island, these are deep and relevant questions. Colonial records and ship documents contain that some of the survivors of the May 26, 1673 European massacre of Pequots in southeastern Connecticut were sold into Bermudian slavery, along with various factions from other New England tribes. Wampanoag warriors from the 1676 King Philip's War were also sold as slaves. Altogether, several hundred Native Americans were sold into Bermuda slavery. These Indian slaves and their descendants remain located on St. David's Island, an islet at the northern end of Bermuda. Now, as I'm saying, when you looking at which I'm gonna show these images, and you looking at the powwows in Bermuda of the Wampanoag and these different tribes, now a lot of them is not looking like this. Okay, they looking black people. Okay, so I gotta keep saying that because I mean it's not. I guess it's not clicking with Israel. Okay, so they not looking like this in Bermuda. Okay, I can just damn near type in.
It affects me directly because we.
Okay, so what I wanted to show real quick, I wanted to show uh, people in Bermuda. It's kind of to go with what I was talking about. Cause I'm gonna show some pictures, but wanted to.
It affects me directly because we live in such a small community. Like the people who's getting caught up in the gang activity and violence that we're in school with, so lives are being lost, and these are people that I've known from young.
One, makes me question my safety. So I feel like I'm always second guessing if maybe I should hang out with friends. Maybe should I consider even hanging around certain people. I feel like I have friends who are males that feel like they might be mistaken for someone else, and that might lead them to an altercation.
And see, like, yeah, this is kind of off topic, but basically, even this, I just wanted to show y'all something, but yeah, the violence in Bermuda, and basically black on black crime, going back to the curses. You know what I'm saying? So,
in the hospital, ending up getting arrested, things like that.
Yeah, but like guys have reeled up on me in secondaries and stuff. Like I'll just be coming in from school and guys have reeled up on me like where you're from and stuff. And like I'm just trying to wonder like why can't we go to the peace and stuff? Because
I feel as if the Bermudan culture is happening around his neighborhood.
And you see, like I was saying, Negro is vast. So you see, you got light skin, kind of dark skin hair, like a little bit more curly.
The violence in Bermuda.
Cause she darker.
My friends, like the other night, I was trying to go out somewhere, and my friend couldn't go because of something.
All right, so that's kind of what I wanted to show. So back to, okay, so I just wanted to show that. Just some of the people there, which I'm gonna show some people from the the powwows, that are descendants of these tribes. So it said altogether these Indian slaves and their descendants remain Salakia. So I'm right here. That relative isolation lasted until the 1930s when a bridge was constructed connecting St. David's Island with the rest of Bermuda. Although there was intermarriage and cohabitation with African slaves, European colonists, and imported Carib Indians, these descendants of New England tribes passed on oral stories that connect five St. David's family, stories about an Indian slave woman named Susanna who claimed to be the granddaughter of King Philip, and traditions of chanting and drumming at a hillside location called Dark Bottom. After the 1834 emancipation, most former slaves stayed on St. David's and continued to intermarry with each other. Okay, so that's what happened. So it says most of the St. David's Islanders today are of mixed blood, says St. Clair Tucker, or Brinky as he prefers to be called. One of the founding members of the St. David Island Indian community. Because he says everyone is mixed blood, which you looking at a lot of the tribes now, which like I said, some are mulatto. But prior to all of that, again, still during that time, like I'm going to show that the New Englanders called the people of there that they came across, they called them Swarthy, Blackamoors, so on and so forth. So it wasn't like, they was, like I showed y'all images, it wasn't Mongoloid Indians and, and then all of a sudden, it was Mongoloid Indians and then now they became black. Like, no. All right, so let me see. So it says the first Indian slave arrived on our shores in 1616, and for the next 200 years, the English developed a very profitable slave trade with Africans and Native Americans. Documents prepared by the English indicate that Pequots, Wampanoags, Narragansett, Cherokee, Mohegans, Carib, Arawaks, and Indians from Central and South America were sold here. The only trading port was in St. George's, about 150 yards from St. David's. All right, so let me see. I wanted to get another part with. Um, Y'all can read that on your own, but so actually, this is what I wanted. Let me just get to the point. Okay, so it says although Mr. Tucker was curious about uh, his family heritage as a child, he really didn't start looking into it in any great detail until he was an adult. During his research, he learned that Native American captives were brought to Bermuda in the late 1600s and early 1700s to be sold as slaves. They were often captives from various wars fought between Europeans and Native Americans. Okay, so all of this tying in to what we brought out with Thanksgiving and the wars that like King Philip's War, the Pequot War, things like that. All right, so they were sold in the square in St. George. Mr. Tucker said, although many were purchased by residents of St. George, people from all over Bermuda would also purchase them. So Bermudians don't have to have roots in St. David's to have Native American ancestry. Okay, so it says Mr. Tucker it's a lot. Okay, so it says Mr. Tucker found during genealogy research that one of his great grandmothers, born in the 1700s, was listed as a free colored woman. Okay, so one of his lines was listed as a free colored woman, which meant Indian or partly Indian. So it said 1700s was listed as a free colored woman, which meant Indian or partly Indian in census records from the 1700s. Okay, so which meant Indian or partly Indian. So whether they were full Indian or half Indian, however you want to take it, the person was called free colored. Okay, and who else? Again, so-called African Americans was called free colored, things like that. So again, like I'm saying, a lot of African Americans that are saying they came from Africa, a lot don't even know, if they are from Africa and even though a lot have came, from Africa, which it wasn't as much as a lot of people the numbers basically aren't as much of the people coming from Africa, as what they make it seem. But my point is to say that that's why a lot of us don't even have records of us coming from Africa, because most likely we was already in America. Okay, so but in that aspect, again, free colored woman. Okay, which meant Indian, and in my last video I showed that Negro was primarily meant someone that was Indian. All right, so just to bring that out again. But it says Mr. Tucker does not know her tribe as this was not recorded. There was about 9 different tribes enslaved in Bermuda, so he could have been from any of Wampanoag, Pequot, any of those tribes. All right, so okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to show. I wanted to show y'all that all these tribes was sold into slavery in Bermuda. Okay, now and I just showed again. I'm gonna show the powwow, which even the word powwow is Narragansett in origin. I'm gonna show you who the Narragansett were. So again, people talking about culture vultures and all type of, but these people keeping a powwow that was created by black people. Okay, like the term powwow going back to the Narragansett language. Okay, and I have some sources that they were saying their language is Hebrew. Okay, so I might do that because I'm not gonna just forcefully teach something. I want to have my facts straight. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that even the word powwow, which matter of fact I can show y'all real quick. Powwow is it comes from the Narragansett. Okay, so it said the word powwow is derived from the Narragansett word powwow, meaning spiritual leader. Okay, so the Narragansett, like I said, we gonna show who the Narragansett were. Okay, so but I wanted to show how Indians being shipped to Bermuda, but let's find out if that was the only place where the Pinqua and everybody in Wampanoag were sent in slavery. Okay, so matter of fact, I'll say that one for last. Okay, so this is Native Village Youth Education News. It says The First Slaves by Rick Green. Okay, and again, here's the map showing y'all the where everybody was stationed. Okay, and it's showing you just showing you where the different tribes was at 1600s. All right, so it says Connecticut in May of 1637, Puritans massacred up to 700, and that word Puritan, because so these damn let me see, it's a lot. Yeah, the English Protestant, okay, so they're all these Protestants and all of that. It said Puritans massacred up to 700 Pequots in a single hour near today's Mesquite, Connecticut, which we dealt with and we showed. Okay, it says a group. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drop down. It says a group, perhaps 17, and mostly children, were thought to have been exported as slaves. Others were given to soldiers as wartime booty. This began a dark century in American history, the New England Indian slave trade. Like many Indian slaves sent from America, there is little recorded of what happened to them. Okay, so it says there are a lot of things that people in America don't have any idea about, said Everett Tallhawk Whedon, who has Pequot and Wampanoag ancestors, which is him right here. Okay, history has been sanitized. But the time the Treaty of Hartford ended the war in September, the English had killed or enslaved more than 1,500 Pequot men, women, and children. By the time King Philip's war began, Indian slaves for many tribes were a common sight across southern New England. By 1676, captives from King Philip's war were filling the New England cities, further frightening the English. Most Indian exported out of New England were from Massachusetts, whose towns suffered the most from Indian attacks. Colonialists consider these wars as civilized English against the savage natives. So that's that's what the so-called white man, he deemed us savage, but he's the damn beast. Okay, so and then on top of that, he's claiming he's God fearing and stuff like that. Okay, but yeah, he's passing homosexual laws. Okay, vow laws that are against the Most High. Okay, but he's constantly trying to call us savage. Okay, but it says, but a note left by Nipmuc Indians, which were also a tribes that were black. Okay, and I got pictures of the Nipmuc Indians as well. But it says, reveals much about the time. We have nothing but our lives to lose, but thou has many fair houses and cattle and much good things. Okay, as the 17th century, I keep mixing hundreds and century, but it says as the 17th century wore on, New England colonists soon outnumbered natives by about 2 to 1. By the end of the 1600s, there were probably thousands of Indian slaves. Indians often came to public auctions tied neck to neck. Okay, tied neck to neck, they sold for half of what an African might bring. At times, there were so many captured Indians that a few bushels of corn or 100 pounds of wool served as payment. Slaves bound for slave markets in Europe, Africa, the Caribbean, and elsewhere were packed tightly into ships. Okay, so yes, Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. Yes, it did happen to indigenous people, but again, like I say, you put in the wrong face on these people. Okay, because again, I showed that they was classified as Negro, and I just showed y'all images of Eurasians. How are they classified as Negro? Okay, in the images and the paintings and the maps that I brought out in the last video, them people, why they not being classified as Negro now? You know what I'm saying? They not being free colored person, colored, anything. So yeah, even men, trying to act like it wasn't Negro like an African, like the phenotype, but that's false, because I got plenty of images and I got plenty of sources that will say that they had their complexion Negro like, the hair texture was coarse. So yeah, what is an Indian? Okay, because it ain't what you see on your TV right now. That's for damn sure. Okay, so an Indian is not just someone with straight hair, and because again, we can have that texture because a lot of the Indians use bear grease. Okay, and shoot, what are we using now today to straighten hair and to do all type of stuff to our hair? We using all type of grease and things for our hair. So y'all gotta understand this. All right, so so Deuteronomy, two things. Deuteronomy 28 verses 48. Okay, it says, thou therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So it told you that the Indians came neck to neck, or they was coming, Salakia. If I go back to it, it said tied neck to neck. All right, and then the point, slaves bound from slave markets in Europe, Africa, because I gotta keep putting that Africa in your face, because it's the images we showed earlier. Are those the people that were shipped to Africa? Okay, so no, and the Caribbean, like I said, it wasn't how you had a whole bunch of mongoloid looking Indians, and then all of a sudden they was killed off, and then the land is now polluted by nothing but Africans. No, that's not what happened. All right, so Deuteronomy 28 and 68, we know this. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bond men and bond women, and no man shall buy you or redeem you. Okay, so so it said some Indians. I'm gonna drop down. So it says some Indians were sold as indentured servants to be freed at 24. Others were bound for infinite periods. Okay, children sold as indentured servants had to serve 10 years. However, if they got into trouble with Puritan courts, they served longer terms. Alright, so it says Alman W. Luber in his 1913 book, Indian Slavery and Colonial Times, writes the General Court appointed certain persons in each county to receive and distribute these Indian children proportionately, and to see that they were sold to good families. Slavery helped dispose of war captives and make profits for greedy traders, and filled the high demand for labor. Indian slavery lasted well into the 1700s, when the practice faded because so many Indians had been eliminated, and because African slaves were more in demand. Which, again, like I said, a lot of that is false, because they were still being in slavery. Because that's the narrative. That again, that's another narrative. Oh, that they was weak and they had to bring the No, that's a narrative to keep people thinking, of just to lie about who's the real indigenous and things like that. So, but yeah, if y'all do more research, you would know that Indian slavery did not stop during the 1700s. All right, so this is another source, and then I'm gonna go to what I was talking about. Okay, I'm gonna try to just kind of go through this. It says, it's mainly the slavery part I'm trying to get y'all with. But it says in early January, and this is the source, why shall we have peace to be made slaves? Indian surrenders during and after King Philip War. It says in early January 1676, during the height of King Philip's War in New England, colonial magistrates sent 2 Christianized Indians into enemy territory as spies. And in the book that I showed you, it's the history of, I believe it's colonial Brazil, showed how they would take an Indian, after they converted him, and then they would, push him to the other Indians to try to get, basically they would, like it says, they would use them as spies, or they would try to get him to have the other Indians converted. All right, but it says the war had dragged on for more than a half a year, and both sides were tired and possibly ready for peace. Okay, in particular, the English magistrates wanted these spies to suggest to enemy native groups that the possibility of peace and submission to the English, to gauge their openness to such an arrangement. Accordingly, Christian Indians James Quannapak and Job Catatanot set out a dangerous month-long trek from Deer Island in the Boston Harbor west into native territory. When they returned, they were full of information regarding the provisions of the enemy Indians, their numbers, and their whereabouts, but with regard to the question of surrender, the news did not favor the English. Quan, I'm gonna just call him Quan, but reported that he understood by the chief men and old men that they were inclinable to have peace again with the English, but the young men, who are their principal soldiers, say, we will have no peace. We are all or most of us alive yet, and the English have killed very few of us last summer. Why shall we have peace to be made slaves and either be killed or sent away to sea to Barbados? Cause so obviously what does scripture say? You can't trust your enemy. Okay, so after all of that, like we read in Psalms, being at peace with them. Okay, but destruction was and the sword. Matter of fact, one more time. Okay, Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So the so-called white man, but we trying to bring peace to y'all. Y'all just submit to the English, but war is in their hearts. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right, so and then on top of that, it says they're saying, we don't either to be made slaves and either to be killed or sent away to sea to Barbados. Okay, so again, all these places, black people. I gotta keep saying that, man. Black people in these places where Indians was shipped. Wasn't no Mongoloids living in Barbados. Okay, and because for instance, you have Indians like Elam, East Indians that live in places like Trinidad, but were they the first people there? No. You have Chinese people in Jamaica. Were they the first people there? No. Okay, so that's what y'all. And then on top of that, like I said, I done showed that they done found skulls in the West Indies. Okay, and I done showed all type of images in the coat of arms showing that it was the Indian or the real indigenous people or people of color before the whitewashing of the West Indies or West Indians, to make it plain. All right, so it says in this short report, Quan captured one of the most difficult realities of King Philip's war for native populations fighting against the English. Slavery, whether actual or threatened, unlike most enslaved Africans who were largely unaware of their destination. So another, like I said, you had, like I said, which were both Israelites, but I'm saying that you had Indians that were shipped to Africa, came back. Obviously, they knew the land. But for those that were, like I said, were most likely part of the Moors or the Moranos that were shipped to Africa, then you had some that was shipped to Jamaica first, but a lot, and then you had Israel that was already West Africa that didn't, because I brought that out in my Morano video and Latino video, that you had that they didn't have understanding of Spain. Okay, so if they didn't have understanding of Spanish or Spain, some of the Israelites that were in West Africa, how the hell did they know about the Americas and how to escape from this, the so-called white man, how to do things? Because even like I said about Harriet Tubman, how would she know how to escape and the roads to take if she was always been an African? You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what I'm saying. So if it says right here that unlike most enslaved Africans who were largely unaware of their destination, so they didn't know where they was going. Okay, which I mean, that's what it's saying. But it says when they were shipped out from the West African coast, New England Indian captives not only knew where they might be sent, but they often stated it outright: Barbados. Okay, so again, Barbados. Today, Barbados is a popular tourist destination with few traces of its plantation and Indian slaveholding past. Okay, and again, the plantation, which makes it difficult to imagine the kind of terror invoked just by the name of this island during the colonial period. And Barbados was not the only destination. So let's see where else. The paper trail of New England natives who were enslaved and sent overseas suggests that they arrived in Barbados, Bermuda, which we just went over, Jamaica, the Azores, Spain, and Tangier and North Africa. And what I'm about to get, yeah, pretty much what I'm about to show y'all in a minute. But it says among other places. Okay, so but Barbados often stood in for being sold overseas more generally. So okay, we just went over to we just went over to Barbados. I mean Bermuda. So I mean we can clearly see the people of Barbados. Okay, and I mean yeah, you can see Rihanna. Okay, even though she wicked, but but I mean yeah, you can see the people of Barbados. Look at the Barbados. You see the feathers, you know, all of that. Okay, the praise. So who's primarily the people of Barbados? Black people. Okay, Negroes. Okay, so it's like where did all these so if it was the real indigenous is these Mongoloid Indians you men keep showing and or Hispanics modern days, then where are they at in Barbados? Okay, so yeah, where are they at? Because we see that yeah they were shipped over there. They wasn't just killed off because because we even showing with the Bermuda thing how Tall Oak and Michael Thompson they were saying how these people are descendants of those slaves. Okay, and then what we read about what Brinky Tucker, okay, or I believe his name is St. Clair Tucker. All right, so okay, so y'all could I just wanted to get that part, but this is a good it got a lot of good stuff in it. And this is the other one. So just for time's sake, I will move forward to the other stuff and the images. But this is colonial enslavement of Native Americans, included those who surrendered to. Okay, so this if y'all want to pause it and get that, but it pretty much saying the same thing where the colonies during the war, New England colonies routinely shipped Native Americans as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, Azores, as we just read. But I like this site though. All right, so let's get into. I wanted to bring this out since I was on the topic, but it said this is a consequence of the war. It says with the death of Philip and most of their leaders, the Wampanoags were nearly exterminated. Only about 400 survived the war. The Narragansett and Nipmucks suffered similar rates of losses, and many small tribes in southern New England were finished. In addition, many Wampanoag were sold into slavery. Male captives were generally sold to slave traders and transported to the West Indies, Bermuda, Virginia, or the Iberian Peninsula. Okay, so we, I already dealt with the West Indies and Bermuda and the Iberian Peninsula, which also Africa as well. Okay, but it said Virginia. Okay, so I wanted to show y'all a little bit about Virginia. Now, I don't know if no one has heard of this, Pocahontas Island, but as you can see, it says, look at damn Esau there, but Pocahontas, oldest black community in the United States. Now, why the hell would it be named Pocahontas if it had no connection to Native Americans or Indians? Okay, but yeah, they're gonna give you the these Mongoloid Indians as being Pocahontas. You know what I'm saying? They gonna have the Disney movie. Okay, see, like even they put fake and real, but both of those is fake. Okay. See, yeah, they gonna have it like this is like you can clearly see the Asian features. Okay, but let me see. Okay, come on, it's laughable. Okay, because I'm about to show y'all something. I'm gonna hit y'all with a few things. Let me see. Even if let me see, because they're not gonna put put the truth. But I have something that shows that she was black. I gotta go back to it. But my point is to show, the oldest community, that's Pocahontas. That's in Virginia. Okay, so let's get this. So it says in the early 1600s, John Smith, explorer of the first permanent English colony, described the indigenous people that he was at war with on the eastern shore of America in Jamestown, Virginia, the Powhatan Indians. The Algonquin chief, more like a devil than a man, with some 200 more as black as himself. Okay, so this is in Virginia. Because so the Powhatan, because Powhatan is the father of Pocahontas. Show y'all. It's already kind of showing y'all. Okay, so the era of John Smith. Trying to see. Yeah, Chief Powhatan's daughter prevented her father from executing Smith. So, so Pocahontas was the daughter. Chief Powhatan. So, Salakia. So, it says Powhatan Indians. Okay, the Algonquin chief, more than a devil than a man, with some 200 more as black as himself. Okay, so showing you. So this is the Virginia Indian. It says in the collection of the Virginia Historical Society in Richmond is a 7-foot tall wooden statue known as the Virginia Indian. It is the type formerly found in front of stores that sold cigars. So like if you type in cigar Indians, like, well, nowadays it's changed, but the older cigar Indians, they was all showing like Negroes, presumably because the British knew that tobacco was indigenous to the Americas. Okay, so the tobacco fields, all of that, where it had primarily a ritual use. Okay, but just to show you, so that's in the Virginia, I believe it's the Virginia Museum. Okay, the Indian, Powhatan Indian. Alright, but yeah, so, or Virginia Indian, but we just read that the Algonquin chief was black. Now let's look at here. Okay, so this is a map. This is Virginia, Florida. Okay, now you look, everybody Negroes. Okay, woolly hair. Okay, like, and you could tell the difference because like you see the woolly hair, and then right here I got the other close up. She has like longer hair. He I believe they might both be men, but they kind of have the long hair, like, because I know, again, like I said, I know somebody, grandma, my pop, telling me my grandma had that long gray hair. But basically, as you can see, Virginia, okay, and all these people Negroes. Okay, so let's show some more. So this is, London's Virginia. This is them on the plantation. These are Africans. Okay, those are, and we could tell because look at the feathers. Okay, so just looking, you could right here. Now, if those first two got you shook, this one, it should be clear. It should be clear. We showed you images of the feather crowns, feathers. They on the plantation. Okay, and I got more, but I just wanted to get to the point. But more plantation, working on the plantation. Okay, plantation. All right, slaving, Indian slaving. Okay, here's another one. Okay, so it says tobacco paper with advertisement for Roll's Best Virginia view of black children and American Indians. So somebody might guess, oh, it says American Indians and black, but look at the image. All of them look the same. So who would be the black children and who would be the Indians? They all look the same. Okay, so working in a tobacco plantation. Okay, well, didn't we read earlier that the reservation was a plantation? Okay, so but I brought that out just to show you had Wampanoags that were sent to Virginia. So a lot of these images, we don't know what tribe. You know, some probably of the Powhatan Indians, and some, yeah, probably of the Wampanoags. You know that, because we already established, they were going to slavery everywhere. Okay. So I brought this out already in the last the Israel's Negro series. So this is Turks, Moors, and Englishmen by Nabil Matar. Okay, so it says also in the same period, Britons began to meet physically with both the American Indians and the Muslims, not only in North America and North Africa, respectively, but in each other's continents. They met North American Indians in North Africa as slaves who had been carried across the Atlantic by the Spaniards. So I didn't show, you had the Spaniards that sent them out, and then it said, what does it say? And the New Englanders, and sold into the Muslim markets as late as 1691. And thinking about that, this is off the top. Let's go to Joel real quick. Joel 3. Okay, because it said Muslim markets. Now we know, even with the other slave trade, you had the Arab slave trade, so-called white man, the Arabs, you had Africans selling us to the white man. Even in the book Black Indians, I forgot what page it was, but it tells you that that the or like Greek mercenaries, it said specifically Greek mercenaries were selling. I forgot what page that was, but I'll probably, because I'm gonna have to do editing as well, so I'm gonna throw that in there. So yeah, but it says Joel. This is Joel 3 and 3 and 3. It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Okay, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried unto your temples my goodly things. And Salakia, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Okay, so just showing you. Okay, and that's matching up. Okay, so it says sold into Muslim markets. Okay, so which we would equate that with being, the Palestinians, Arabs, so on and so forth. Okay, as late as 1691, Indians who had been captured during King Philip's War were sent to be sold into the coast lying not very remote from Egypt on the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so and like I said, not very remote from Egypt. All right, so here I wanted to show real quick from the book Black Indians. This is page 53, but just the part right here, showing. It says U.S. troops and Greek mercenaries lashed the Seminoles left alive after the destruction of Fort Negro in 1816 back to slavery in Georgia. Okay, so last the Seminoles left alive after the destruction of Fort Negro. Okay, so now you see synonymous with the Seminoles. Okay, but just going back to Joel 3, just wanted to show kind of like the how it says Greek mercenaries, uh, and them going back into slavery. Okay, so linking up with Joel the third chapter. And then this was another, basically the same thing that I brought up. All right, that I just read. Okay, so moving forward, let's get. Okay, so after this, I'm gonna show y'all the images. Okay, let me see something real quick. Okay, so as a matter of fact, so them being called Negro. Now, this book right here is called Natives or Narratives of New Netherland. Now, New Netherland, let's look at where New Netherland was. Let's look at where New Netherland. Okay, so New Netherland, or capital New Amsterdam, because I believe New Amsterdam is what became of New York, or that was what it was called before it was called New York, Slovakia, basically. So New Netherland was, in fact, let me try to get y'all a map, basically, or that was the. Okay, so it's basically over in that area where Connecticut, all of that area on the East Coast. Okay, that's pretty much where it was. So from that book, this is what we find. So chapter 10, it says, Hendrik Hudson, and again, this is from my Instagram. So if y'all want to hit me up or whatever, y'all could do that. But it says, Hendrik Hudson, who first discovered this river and all that have since visited it, expressed their admiration of the noble trees growing there. He himself described to us the manners and appearance of the people that he found dwelling immediately within this bay in the following terms. When I come on shore, the swarthy natives all stood and sang in their fashion. Okay, so the swarthy natives, that's the point I wanted to get. The swarthy natives. So on the East Coast, showing you, in all those places, because we can further show again, Carolina Genesis. It says in 1676, after Holland transferred the region to England, English colonists considered dark-skinned Moors and dark-skinned natives. So the Dutch and the English, okay, again, dark-skinned natives, swarthy, the people that they met, swarthy, dark-skinned natives of New England, to be indistinguishable. Okay, so dark-skinned Moors and dark-skinned natives were they couldn't, it was indistinct. They couldn't distinguish Slovakia. They couldn't distinguish them. Okay, so, and we know, and I've shown images of, like I said, I show Indians having woolly hair, and we could see in the Moors, the coat of arms, that they had woolly hair as well. So it wasn't like, okay, Indian natives, they was just black and they had long straight hair. No. Okay, so because if they was indistinguishable with the Moors, which again, like I say, you see coat of arms and things like that, with woolly hair and certain features, then that's who they were saying when they came over here. Okay, so that was pretty much the point I wanted to get. It said, according to David McRitchie and Ancient Modern Britons in 1681, the Indians of New England, or Moors as they were called, by the English were described by the Quaker William Penn to be black as gypsy. So King Philip and all these people that were shipped, because this is during the time of King Philip, like we just all throughout the 1600s. Matter of fact, here we go. It's a King Philip's War, 1675 to 1676. So here it is. So 1676, English colonists, again, the Thanksgiving, considered dark-skinned Moors and dark-skinned natives. So these were black people. Okay, these were Negroes that the English, that they fought, Pequot War, all of that. The people of the New England area were black people. Point, hands down, cut. That's a cut. You know what I'm saying? So no one can really get around that. Okay, so like I said, for these men running their mouths about Negro only and all of this, like this is the truth. Okay? So like I like to say, like the brother said, you can't even call me a liar, like the brother T.O.Z said. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Okay, so this is the American historical record. It's concerning the history and antiquities of America and bibliography of Americans. Okay, so let's see what they said about the Meshapi or the Wampanoag. So it says in page 531, it says, Mr. Dwight, one of the committee, asked if so many whites being there did not tend to discourage the Indians from being interested in the meeting. Mr. Marston thought it might. Here the terms colored persons, blacks, and Indians are synonymous. They all mean Marshapi Indians, which the Marshapi is a Wampanoag. Okay, so it says colored persons, blacks, and Indians are synonymous. So I don't even have to get the definition of synonymous. You should already know that means basically it's the same thing. Okay, so blacks, Indians, colored person. We just read about Tucker. His I believe his grandmother. It said that she was free colored person, but she was it said Indian or partly Indian. Okay. So just showing you. So that was the Meshapi Indians, but like the Carolina Genesis, that said that those were the New England natives that were being considered dark-skinned and being called Moor, stuff like that. And okay, so and this is on the Pequot. So matter of fact, this is about the Pequot, but it says. Yet after, I'm right here. So it says, yet after the Pequot War of 1637, Puritans shipped captive Pequots to bondage in a small Puritan community on the coast of Nicaragua called Providence Island. There they were called cannibal. Wait a minute. It said there they were called cannibal Negroes. So the Pequot was called cannibal Negroes. But yet, Israel, you got people talking all this about Negro and, you know what I'm saying, and making videos in the comment board talking ish. But yet, cannibal Negroes for the Pequot Indians, from people from the Thanksgiving that you men is putting images of Mongoloids and you talking about you know what I'm saying? And you got a problem with it. Okay, so, but it says cannibal Negroes to distinguish them from the native mosquitoes. Okay, so, just showing you. So, here it is, Pequot, and we're going to deal with the pictures and show who the Pequot were. Alright, so, okay, so let me show the Narragansett real quick. Matter of fact, let me show, I'm going to say the Narragansett last, so I can show that video. Okay, so, point I wanted to get. Where is it at? Okay, so this is also from the book Carolina Genesis. Okay. Alright, so it says, so this is from Carolina Genesis. Alright, and it says, the name transitioned from Amora to Jinko and finally to Reed. This is someone's line, a person's line that they're talking about, represented a Christianization and angelizing of the family as part of a Moroccan or American diaspora found among the Esopus, Mectocas, Neantic, the Mohagan. We seen the Mohagan, the Pinqua, Machican, Montaukett, and Wampanoag Indians. This movement manifests my family's present formally as the American in New York, as well as in New England as a native and tribal conglomerate compelled to expand into the South, specifically South Carolina, as free people of color to escape the colonial ethnocide in the North. Okay, so having to be called free people of color. Okay, so I mean, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. Hold on. So okay, so this page 81. Alright, it says herself listed as Indian, and because these are on different pages, so it's not together, but it says, I wanted to get the point. It says listed as Indian, and the two men, John Baldwin and Nathan Pemberton, which, matter of fact, hold on, because that name, Larry Pemberton, which he's of the Pinqua. This is Larry Pemberton. Okay, that's a Negro. Okay, he got dreads and all. He got locks and all of that. All right. So, but what are we reading right here? It says Pemberton. So it says listed as Indian, and the two men, John Baldwin and Nathan Pemberton. Only Margaret Reed was identified as an Indian. The other settlers were categorized as colored, even though they self-identified as Indian and were, according to an 1826 petition to the local government adopted by the Stockbridge Indians. Okay, so they was classified as categorized as colored, yet they was always Indian. Okay, and that's crazy how I'm showing you the image of this brother right here. That's name is Pemberton, and we're reading here that Pemberton, that was he was had to be classified as colored. Okay, so okay, so this the last one I wanted to show. All right, so it says, let me get to the point. So it says the European gardeners residing on Gardner Island and Long Island Sound, New York, early on in the mid-17th century were assigned as guardians for the Manhasset Indians of Shelter Island. Shelter Island was called by its indigenous inhabitants Manhasset, the birthplace of Cogno de Long Island, Gerherin, wrote that in 1824 the Stockbridge Indians formally adopted the mixed blood Indian William Gardner and saw him as a Narragansett. Regardless of his tribal affiliation and self-identity as Indian, 2 years later, the New York legislation defined him as colored. After 1860 and when the Civil War ended, the United States government eradicated the free person of color status, turning any mixed race Indian or non-white individual. So turning any mixed race Indian or non-white individual into Negro or colored. Because of this legislative pressure, the Stockbridge tribe by the 1870s expelled the Gardner family from its tribal roles by declaring them Negro. The early tribal affiliation with the Gardner family as Stockbridge, Narragansett, and the family's relationship with Reed and Brooke families, who are also officially declared as Narragansett, show that the family was originally Narragansett. Okay, so that family was originally Narragansett. Okay, so I was on Brethren by Nature, Margaret Newell. So this is what it says. So it says Ruth Wallace Hardnun and Ella Wilcox Sakatu analyze officials' tendency to designate Narragansett Indian people as Negro or Black. Okay, so the Narragansett Indian people as Negro or Black, although they locate the shift in the post-revolutionary period. Okay, so the Narragansett Indians was basically classified as Negro or Black. Okay, so so we showed you the Pequods, the Mashpee, which is the Wampanoag, but let's because a lot of people they love the images, they love they want to see the images. Y'all want to see the images. Everybody's a visual, visual. Okay, so hold on. Matter of fact, let me get this one more thing on the Narragansett. Okay, so
your own religion and your own way of acceptance.
In Rhode Island, some citizens who did not own property had to wait until 1928 before they were granted voting rights. But three groups.
So this is talking about them being able to vote, the Narragansett. So listen to this.
Officially barred by state law from casting a ballot: paupers, the mentally incompetent, and Indians. The only way the Narragansetts could participate in elections was by identifying themselves as African Americans.
So, my God, man. So here it is. Now, you looking at all these people right here. I know everybody done got an aunt, an uncle, your grandma, your father look like one of these people. Okay, so we just read that they was classified, the Narragansett people classified as Negro or Black. Here we're seeing that they couldn't vote unless they called themselves African Americans. Okay, I showed you the brother Michael. Well, I showed you Pemberton, that was Pequot, but I showed you the other Pequot that, either one of those brothers could be or you look at him on the street, you just see he's an African American. Okay, so, or Negro. Okay, so, but here's showing you that they couldn't vote unless they was called African American.
But three groups were officially barred by state law from casting a ballot: African Americans. Charles Ernest Hazard confronted officials who enforced this practice. His brother, Joseph, one of the oldest members of the Narragansett Nation, recalls the moment.
Indians couldn't vote, so he went up to the State House and he says, he saw the charter that the Indians can't vote. says, "You voting, ain't you?" And he says, "No." He says, I consider myself a Narragansett Indian. If I vote, I'm voting under Negroes could vote, but not an Indian. And he said, I consider myself a Narragansett, not a black, so I'd like to have that changed. So they did.
In 19...
Okay, and that's how he also with Esau, because that's how he can take the land, or through, because we were it's genocide through the pen basically. Okay, so because why you calling yourself black, colored, all of these things takes you away from the land. Okay, so it's always been a demise, and having us. And it's not even just the Narragansett. A lot of other tribes have, classified as Negro, colored, so on and so forth. So, but I just wanted to show that part, and y'all can watch. This is what it is. Our neighbors, the Narragansett. There's a lot more into it, because a lot of the people in the interviews. Matter of fact, bam, it's a Negro. The sister in the video. Now this guy's, I believe, the brother-in-law, but I don't think he was in Narragansett. But I'm trying to show y'all real quick. Okay, this brother right here. This brother, looking. I was saying this Terrence Howard right here. So. Trying to show y'all a few, because I'm about to deal with the images.
Do they ever tell us how they argue among themselves? And I know they do, because I've been out there. And I know.
So y'all can watch that on your own. So I wanted to get to the picture. So anybody know who this is? What it says, Crispus Attucks. Okay, like the Boston Massacre. So when you do research on Crispus Attucks, tells you, he was a Wampanoag, or he was half Wampanoag. Okay, so, but when I was looking, because y'all can research. I'm not gonna really go into it, but y'all can research yourself. But basically, when you look. I looked and I found this image right here of his mother, and I have to further do research or into the image, but this is the image that came up. So this is what she looking like: woolly hair. Okay, Wampanoag tribe. So like I said, even if y'all want to say that, okay, well, African slaves dealt with Indians or whatever, natives. These are the Indians. Okay, these are what the Indians look like. Okay, already. Okay, like all them images I showed from the last one, that's what the Indians look like. Now, again, you're gonna have a lot that look different from mixing with the so-called white man, which that's why I'm saying, when y'all talk about mixtures and things like that, you would get mixtures of mulattoes some that could look like path for a white man, so on and so forth, but depending on their line of obviously. But again, they would look like mulattoes more so, not no modern day looking like a Eurasian. Okay, no. So y'all gotta understand that. But so Crispus Attucks, like I said, his mother was a Indian. Okay, and this is what is shown. So I'm gonna just slide through some of these images. So this is the powwow in Bermuda. Okay, you see she got the border of blue fringes, all of that. Okay, but look at black people. Okay, Negroes. Okay, this is in Bermuda. Okay, this is Brinky Tucker. Okay, and that was his grandson. Okay, so I mean y'all Y'all crazy, man. Teaching. Y'all gotta teach this the right thing, man. So like I'm showing y'all, these are the people of the Thanksgiving. Okay, so these are the people of Thanksgiving. All right, so Narragansett Indian powwow, which we showed that the Narragansett are the ones that started the word powwow, or that's where it comes from. Okay, so and this is the chief Matthew Thomas. All right, but look it. Okay, Narragansett. Okay, this is Bella Nakota. Y'all can't really see the image that good, but okay, so here she is. Okay, you can clearly see, obviously, Negroid features. Okay, even though, yeah, she kind of has a little mix to her, but okay, so that's her. Okay, Narragansett. Alright, so, okay, and this is what I was showing you. Harry M. Johnson Sr. So he in Narragansett, because this is from that video. So showing you this brother from that video that I just showed. These are screenshots from that. Okay, so Narragansett, and his name was Harry Johnson. Okay, so Harry Johnson, but you look at him on the street, because again, people don't think the real Indians are of color. So you would just look at him, oh, he probably white and black, that's it, but he a Narragansett Indian. Okay, so yeah, even because I got this, this one sister that had this, but yeah, like I showed, powwows, that's where the Narragansett come from. Okay, same. He kind of look a little like Forrest Whitaker, with the eye a little bit, but Lloyd Milcox. Okay, so and this Narragansett, this the brother right here. I'm not sure of his name, but as you see, or actually, yeah, I don't know if that is the same brother, but yeah, this Wampanoag tribe. I wanted to screenshot it with kind of so y'all can see last Wampanoag. So yeah, again, I know y'all got a grandmother that looked like this. All right, so this is Wampanoag. This is her name was Sierra Jackson, I believe, because she was the I believe they call it a princess or whatever of the tribe. Yeah, the princess, I believe. So, yeah, but Wampanoag. Okay. Okay, so these are the people of the Thanksgiving. So when you doing Thanksgiving lessons, get your facts straight. Okay. So, yeah, Wampanoag, yeah, Mashpee Wampanoag. So, yeah, we read the source that blacks, coloreds, Indians were synonymous for the Mashpee Indians. Okay, so, okay, so this showing y'all the people. Okay, showing y'all the people, man. The people of Thanksgiving. Okay, our ancestors. Okay, whether like I said, whether you, because somebody that's watching this, that's you an Israelite, you probably from one of these tribes. You know what I'm saying? Or especially if you're on the East Coast, or if you already know it, maybe brother might not even know he goes back to one of these tribes, or maybe a brother might know, and a brother probably would know that his people or that particular tribe went through the Thanksgiving. Okay, but like I said, man is showing false images of Mongols that again wasn't part of the Thanksgiving, just equating everything with native peoples. But no, these are the people. Okay. Alright, so and I always like this one where they pretty much show you right in your face who's the real Indian, because obviously we know the Pilgrims, Europeans is this. So, because they could have had any type of person to play the Indian. Okay, because again, like I said, if they make a damn movie, most of the time a movie will have the white man playing who he is, but they'll have some fake Indian mongoloid playing that. So in this, it's nothing for them to have a so-called mongoloid native or a modern day Hispanic to play the Wampanoag. Okay, but no, they gave you the truth right in your eyes. Okay, so this is from the New Amsterdam, like I was showing you, saying the swarthy natives. Okay, as you can see, and the woolly hairs, because like I was saying, it's not, everything ain't straight hair. These are the same people. They got fringes. Cause woolly hair, like I said, she got her head covered. Okay, this is tall oak, like we went in the other one, and this is Brinky, like I said, in Bermuda. Okay, Wampanoag, same thing in Bermuda. Okay, look at this sister right here. All of the Wampanoag. Okay, this is the Pequot. Okay, so Eastern Pequot Nation. So yeah, so the Pequot. So 700 men killed. Yeah, these were the people. Okay, so you're not gonna give that to somebody else. Okay, these are the people. Wampanoags, like I just showed y'all the people. Showed y'all the Narragansett. Okay, these are the people of the Thanksgiving. Okay, this is Pequot. Minus these damn Edomites. And here, these are the damn oppressors that killed off us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so these are the Pequots. Okay, more Pequot. Again, scratch her out. But everybody got family members looking like this. Okay. Here we go. Here's Pemberton. Again, Pequot. Again. Okay, so this is, it's too easy, man. So, I thank the Most High for, enlightening me, getting me to understand more of the Americas. Okay, because I want to keep these videos going. I want to keep these videos, this kind of history, more history about West Africa, Israel, bring out more artifacts. I got a lot of lessons I want to do in the future, even some more scriptorial breakdowns. But I want to keep smashing this. This whole the chart, all of that stuff that because again, even though I don't believe fully in the chart, and I believe some parts of the chart is true, again, the people that are being the face of those tribes are false. Okay, so that's the thing we gotta smash. But again, here it is, Pequot again. So yeah, what we read, 700 men killed off, women sent into slavery. Okay, look at this Wampanoag warrior. Clearly. So I'm trying to think of what actor. He remind me of that, just darker, but what's his name? Let me see. He was on Martin. Let me see. I forgot his name. The facial structure. This dude right here. This guy right here. I forgot his name. What's his name? Yeah, Hawthorne James. Like, right, it looked just like him. It looked kind of like him. You know what I'm saying? But he dark. The image is obviously darker, but it looked like him. All right, so this Wampanoag. Okay, I had that pic, but okay, and this is another Wampanoag painting. Dark skin. In King Philip's War, descendant descendants surnamed Mitchell. Okay, so yeah, a lot of Negroes with the last name Mitchell. Okay, so this is the Nipmuc that I was showing y'all. Look at the women. Okay, Nipmuc tribe. So I mean, look at this. Okay, so I showed Narragansett, Nipmuc, Pequot. I mean, Wampanoag. I mean, what more do men want to see? Okay, so okay. Okay, and this brother right here, Morgan James Peters, a member of Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. So what do we read again? Everything Negro, or it's like blacks, colored, Indian, all synonymous with the Mashpee Indians. Okay, which is the Wampanoag. Alright, so just showing you, I showed y'all all the images. So y'all will know who was involved in the Thanksgiving. Alright, so I want to close this out with some scriptures. Okay, so I just wanted to close it out. Okay, this is Amos 5. And I'm going to get to the point, verse 21. It says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell your solemn assemblies. Because so the Most High, especially like a day like Thanksgiving and all these other days where, people eating all type of unclean foods. But again, it's a feast that's not been called by the Most High. Okay, it says, though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me thy noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. So, because Israel, because at a time, we was, we would be going off, and we would just constantly do these things like sacrifices to the point where the Most High is like tired of it. Even you know what I'm saying. Even also him saying take away these, because even translating that so now, the damn choir, got homosexuals in it. Talking about they love the Lord, but in the law it tells homosexual supposed to be put to death. So Most High take thou away from me the noise of thy songs. Okay, and what's important? Let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. So again, the Most High despises these false feast days. Okay. Alright, so let's get Jeremiah 10, okay, because we're going to be bringing this out a lot next month, but just getting to the point. It says, hear ye the word of the Most High, hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Okay, and one of the sites that I was bringing out, I actually got the wrong one, or not. I didn't get the wrong one, but it was one that I didn't use. Talked about how matter of fact, let me see if I could find it. Basically, was saying that a lot of the origins of these. Let me see. A lot of the origins of these days are like even Christmas. Let me see. Okay, here it is. It said, just real quick, it says, the holiday continued as a tradition in New England, however, celebrated not with a feast and family, but rather with rowdy drunken men who went door to door begging for treats. That's how many of the original American holidays were celebrated. Christmas, New Year's Eve and Day, Washington's birthday, the 4th of July. All right, so just showing you, again, that's how all these these holidays tradition of men. Cause so we're not to learn the way of the heathen. Cause especially damn so-called white man. All right, so this is Micah 2:2. And it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. So this is your Illuminati, because they all them secret society, all of that, the meetings, and then they act out everything. Okay, especially how to get us, the children of Israel, away from our God. Okay, but going to Thanksgiving, the damn pilgrims, Puritans, devising a plan to destroy us. Likewise, even the Spaniards, the Portuguese, all of them have devised a plan to destroy indigenous people. Okay, so but it says, and they convey fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man in his heritage. Okay, and the biggest heritage they have oppressed us and took us from is our heritage as being Israelites. Okay, these damn fake Jews taking our heritage. Okay, but going into Thanksgiving, taking this land, taking and killing us by violence and stuff like that. Okay, so so that's what it is. Okay, and if anything, people on Thanksgiving, from this year or from next year, this is your spirit. It should be. This is Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Okay, so oppression maketh a wise, because we still oppress in America. All right, and the oppression faced to indigenous people for this is proof that again, we're still oppressed. So y'all love, Thanksgiving, we gonna get together. You should be mad. Okay, that of this, and I showed you who the people involved were. So we can't be thinking, everything is for, especially for Negroes, that they just came from Africa. No, we was already here. Okay, whether you're not from one of those tribes, most likely y'all from we're from, unless you do your research or whatever, your family line. Even though at the end of the day we all Israel, but just like a brother that's from West Africa, he from Nigeria, and he knows he's Igbo, he can research into Igbo and find out more about them being Israelites. So likewise, if you're a Cherokee, you can go and show, obviously, because the people that claiming to be Cherokee aren't the real ones, but it's the people that they classified as freemen. So if you from that line, you can, because I got a lot of stuff on Cherokees being Israelites. So so you can understand. But so whether you're not from those tribes I named earlier, the Wampanoag, Pequot, Narragansett, still those are our people, okay? Because we're the nation of Israel. All right, so you should be mad about that. Okay, so I just wanted to bring those scriptures out. Okay, and hope brothers and sisters was edified. Like I said, hit me up on the comment board. So Salaki. So so I was saying that you can hit me up on the comment board or on Instagram. So I hope brothers and sisters was edified. Like I said, until the next time, shalom.